Picture Book Chat. I'm Mary Ellen Brax, and with me today is Sheri Boggs.
Hello.
And we're here to talk about new picture books with you today. So, Sheri, what are we going to start off with today?
Oh my gosh. I'm really excited about all of our books today because they all have to do with food.
Yum.
I know. So our first one is Eat Together, and this is a board book, which means it's going to be appropriate for younger kids. First of all, I just love this cover. I love all the little food shapes on it. Like for younger kids, it's fun to identify, what's that? That's a little olive. What's that? A little mushroom. And so the whole book is about guessing. So time to eat. 3 shapes get together to make. What is it, Mel?
It's a strawberry.
Well done. Ta-da! And then you get the payoff on the next page. What's this one?
What do 4 shapes make? Oh, it makes an ice cream cone.
Yeah, so I love that they're not completely easy at first glance. Like, you kind of have to think about it a little bit. And there's this one stumped me. I was looking at this for the longest time, and I'm like, a tree? What? Oh, and it turns out it's lettuce.
Yeah.
So I like kind of the white space in this. I like the really sturdy pages. I think this would be perfect for toddlers. What do you think about this one?
I think it'll be good for toddlers in terms of just reading it.
Yeah.
But in terms of guessing the shapes, it's definitely more of a preschool one because it's a little bit more difficult because they're not, typical shapes. Mm-hmm. But it's a nice introduction. I think it would be great for an introduction to a unit on shapes, just so that shapes can take different forms. Mm-hmm. And so what are the basic shapes? But I like that it counts up.
Yeah, I just noticed that as we were paging through it. Yeah. So yeah, you get an additional item on each page to try to figure out.
Yeah, and then you can count the items on the page. So for that would work well with toddlers too. That you can start counting what's there, the number of shapes there. But yeah, this would be a great introduction to any shape unit. Also, you could put out different shapes and have them make their own pictures. Oh. So if you, pre-cut, your triangles, circles, squares, and cut them out, then you can have them make their own pictures out of that. And then you could even take out, if you have tangrams for the older kids, then they could make pictures out of their tangrams too. But yeah, I thought it was a really cute one. And I love that it ends with pizza.
I know. It's going to turn out to be a theme in our show today.
Yes.
And I like that the shapes aren't, that they're different shapes than what kids are used to learning about. Yeah. Like it's beyond squares and circles and rectangles. You've got some things with curved edges. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just think the vocabulary building is good too.
Yeah. Well, good vocabulary, and that's why I think it would be good for even preschoolers because they aren't your typical shapes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that was Eat Together by Miguel Ordónez. It's from Penguin Workshop, and they've done another book. I don't know if we've talked about this one on Picture Book Chat, but it's called Get Together. And with that one, you're making little animals.
Oh, I don't
shows it on the back. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I know it's in our collection.
Yeah.
So what's next?
We have Parfait, not Parfait. Why don't you talk about this? Is one that you really like too.
This one, I wondered about the vocabulary right off the bat, because a lot of kids don't know what a parfait is.
Yeah.
So that is kind of your entry point. You can talk about how it's a delicious dessert, like layers of Jell-O, I think, with whipped cream in between. Mm-hmm. It's been a while since I've had one. There's also the kind that you get at Dairy Queen with the ice cream.
Yes.
Oh, peanut butter parfait. So you can have a little treat after. You've got all your different kinds of parfait on the end papers. I thought that was great. But it's just, I love that it's a silly, simple book, but it's kind of got a narrative to it. So you've got parfait. You turn the page, not parfait. So you can ask the kids, what is it? They'll be like, a duck. Parfait, not parfait. Yeah. Sharpay. And so you start getting into rhyming words, which is
I love that.
Random and funny. And when you look at his little name tag on his bed, it says Andre.
Yeah.
Not Sharpay. And so there's a lot of really funny wordplay in this. Older kids that know about Sharpies will probably start calling them Sharpays from now on. Toupee. Yeah. Sharpay, toupee. So it gets sillier and sillier throughout. There's all these things that rhyme. At the very end of the book, there's a list where you can find all the things that end in that A sound. Like even early on when we're looking at the picture of the duck in the background, you can see this tiny little blue jay.
Oh, yes.
And so some of them are tricky.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a great activity then to go back and use that list and go through and try to find them.
Yeah. And I like parfait has two meanings. There's parfait, the dessert, and then in French, parfait means perfect. And so I think it's kind of funny as you're going through the book, like, not parfait, not perfect, not perfect. So it's just really, it's silly and it's simple. I think it would be a great read aloud. There's callbacks to things earlier in the book, like here you see the duck wearing the stovepipe hat and the Abe Lincoln beard, like for no reason whatsoever. I looked in the back, there's nothing that rhymes that has to do with Abraham Lincoln. It's just random. But it's a lot of fun to identify the things. You know, like kids will look at this picture and see the spaghetti, but on the page it's spaghetti. So you can start calling things by different names. There's some brulee, flambé,
souffle,
lots of delicious food words. Not parfait. It's all gone. Spork. So it's just really fun. What did you think about this one, Mary Ellen?
I thought it was a lot of fun. It would be great for a rhyming unit there. And I did think that going back and finding all the words, all the pictures to the words would be great there. So I think you could create your own silly book of rhyme words. What could they do? And just create their own book from that.
Fun. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that would be. And so they get the whole rhyming thing down. So, a good one for preschool and up. But
yeah, definitely.
I think you could definitely use it with kindergartners, first graders, if you wanted to do, a unit on rhyming and what words rhyme and how to make words that rhyme. So, I think that was a fun one.
It's a great package. Like, just the illustrations are so appealing. So, like,
such bright colors. It's that bright, but they're dark at the same time, but they're still bright. That has appealed to me, like that one, that birthday party one.
Yeah, like lots of saturated colors. And I just love how they get kind of a glow in the Jell-O.
Like it really
it's
is
just
shiny.
This mesmerizing object. So this is one that will really draw kids in, I think. So that's Parfait, not Parfait.
Yes, good one.
All right.
Fun one.
How about you tell us what's next?
It's Pizza, a Slice of History. And so this is by Greg Pizzoli, which I love. Incidentally. But it's all about a history of pizza. Great end papers on this, nice bright colors, little mouse throughout there. And it just talks about this is pizza, and this is pizza. They talk about the different kinds of pizza, like French bread pizza, mini bagel pizza, and then pizza with pineapples. So they just go through about pizza, and then this is a little pizza rat. I called it a mouse, but it's a rat. And then I love this. We eat 350 slices of pizza every second, which doesn't surprise me with how much my family loves pizza. And then you could count how many have you eaten, how many in my whole life. But they talk about where pizza started, who made the first pizza, and then they go into just kind of the history of pizza and what it looks like, and how tomatoes came about and where tomatoes originated from. It was not Italy. But the colors in the book are great too.
Yeah.
And then I love that this is the first pizza delivery with a horse. Just a really fun one. And then they talk about the different kinds of pizza all over the United States too, and how if you go from one area to the other. So like my family grew up in New York, they were used to New York pizza, and then as we traveled around,
it's so different from Chicago style pizza.
Yeah, in Chicago. I mean, it really. And then when we went to Europe, when I was a kid and lived there, pizza was different there. So, And so it's a lot of fun, and it gets you talking about pizza and how do you like your pizza and what would you put on your pizza. And then at the back, there's even instructions for mini pizza. So this would be a great activity to do with the kids. You can make your own mini pizzas there.
Fun.
Yeah. What did you think about this, Sheri?
I loved this. I'm always on the lookout for a easy nonfiction. And this is one where I was really on the fence because it's such a great picture book, but it's really, there's not a narrative. Like, it's really all about the history of pizza. Yeah. So we ended up putting it in nonfiction, but it could be a great read aloud if you condense some of the textier parts about the history of pizza. And Greg Pizzoli, I love his art because he uses kind of a limited palette. Like, it'll just be like maybe 4 or 5 colors, but they're all super bright. And so I just think his work is really engaging. But yeah, I loved everything about it. I love the joke about the pizza rat. For like everyone that's been on social media in the last 5 years. I don't know. I don't know when we got pizza rat. But I love the history too. I love that they talk about the Persians and the Greeks and. But it really took the Italians to really make pizza come alive. Yeah. So it's fun. I really enjoy this. Yeah. And I love that the colors that he chose are kind of pizza colors. Like, you've got the green of your basil and your red of your tomatoes and pepperoni. It's just really well thought out. So yeah, I love this one. Pizza, a slice of history.
And this is great because it's a great introduction to, like, you can use it as a starter for a unit on math, even as you cut the pizza into different slices.
A little bit of division, like how many. Cooking,
you can do all your measurements too. So who knew pizza and math would go together so well? So I think this would be just a really fun one to use. And again, you could use it with preschoolers. But you could also use it with the early elementary ages too. And just even to take it home as a family if you're really into pizza and then be making your own pizza at home, that would be fun too.
Yeah, this would be a good one for your home library.
Yes. Yes.
Well, speaking of pizza, we have one book left. Kobe Eats Pizza. I guess Kobe is an internet sensation. I have not watched any of his videos, but he has a whole YouTube series where he's baking and cooking with his family. So he's just this really adorable toddler. Again, we've got the pizza ingredients on the end papers.
Nice bright colors.
I know.
Like,
you can see the texture. It's like super mouth-watering.
It's bad we're getting hungry.
I know.
We just had breakfast.
Like, our stomachs might growl. Everyone knows Chef Kobe is the star of the kitchen. So I love that you introduce your main character right there. Super appealing. You see him commanding the dogs. And it says he cooks all by himself. Well, mostly. So he's got a grown-up helper. So this would read like a regular, this is a picture book. Like, there's a narrative, like you meet your main character. You show measuring stuff out. I love that the parents have tattoos and those show up in the illustrations. It's a very modern family. Exact measuring is very important if you want it to turn out. I love where you see him licking his finger. It's not good kitchen behavior, but it's allowable. And so you show the steps to, I think this would be, and you might be talking about this in a minute, so I don't want to steal this, but like the sequencing of like what order you put things on the pizza. Yeah. And you have to do it in that order for it to taste good and look good. Yeah. And so and there's all the steps, like now we're baking. Waiting is hard. I love him with his little timer. It's so cute. And there it is, the finished product.
And then they get to eat it.
I know.
This one also has a recipe in the back,
It does, yes. I think this one is for like a full-sized pizza.
Yeah, and you make your dough. It has the recipe for the dough there, which is always fun to do with kids. What I love about this, which I finally figured out after years of making pizza with my kids, is that I could give them each part of the dough and they make their own individual pizzas too. And it's a lot of fun because then they can measure things out They can measure their toppings out, so you get a little bit of math in there too. But that whole sequencing where he was saying, first you do this, then you do this, that's great to see. So you can have your kids do that. And what order would you put your things in to see how it comes in? You could do a little bit of food experimentation there. So my kids put cheese down first, then tomato sauce, and then cheese again. Really into cheese.
How was it?
It was delicious.
It sounds like it would be. I don't think they're wrong.
Yeah. Just another fun book to use. You could use this together with the history of pizza. You could even use Eat Together with it too, since there is a picture of pizza in there too. So it makes a nice little grouping if you wanted to do a little story time within your classroom. The pizza slice of history might be too long for our story times, but you could read parts of it and just get right to the history of pizza and ask them, how many slices of pizza do you think you could eat? We eat. This would be like I said, just having that recipe at the back, or use your favorite recipe. So I know we use a recipe that one of my grandmother's neighbors who was from Italy gave us for pizza that we ended up loving. So they always ask me for Mrs. Tomaselli's pizza. So and lots of kids will just say, get all those things when you read it out loud that, oh, we had pizza last night, or we've had pizza every night this week.
Or I have a little brother.
Yes. So really cute. I think it would work really well for preschool age.
Yeah.
Might even work for toddlers.
Like older.
Older toddlers. Just a fun book. Colors are great, so it's really engaging to kids. Get to see family life there, and the dogs are great. Yeah,
there's just a few words up to a full sentence per page. So there's it moves pretty quickly too.
Yeah.
Except this waiting part, maybe.
But another great one.
Yeah, this is really fun. And just paging through it, I'm noticing what it does with perspective. I love that you get this shot from inside the oven.
Oh, yes.
At Kobe waiting outside.
Yeah. Like, yum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of fun.
Yeah, I enjoy this one a lot.
Yeah. Well,
so
great
that
job.
Was Kobe Eats Pizza.
And I love the subtitle, and helps make it too.
So confident.
Yeah. Well, another great selection of books. Thank you.
Thank you. This is always so much fun.
So, that's the end for today. So thank you very much, and I hope you'll join us again next month. Bye.
Bye.